Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Quant. We're going to see kind of what's going on here by taking a look, well, of course at Elliott Wave, but more importantly, some key Fibonacci retracement levels as well as support and resistance zones. So we're just going to make sure we kind of cover a quick analysis here, give you a perspective of what's going to happen next. We saw a nice little bounce yesterday. We got to recognize that Bitcoin bounced a little bit too, and we saw 3 days of sell-off here as we did with Bitcoin. So there's a lot of direct correlations with this coin and Bitcoin. It's important to recognize that and a few other things as well. So good news is we're bouncing off support here and we're probably in pretty good shape, but we want to recognize too that Bitcoin, if it loses 27,000, we're going to see some lower lows from QNT, and that kind of coincides with our Elliott Wave here. Okay, so just before we jump into that, I just want to kind of preface and say thank you so much to all my community members for being an amazing part of my life. I make these videos specifically for you and for everyone else that is interested in learning more about becoming a better trader. So if you want to do yourself a favor, cryptocash.tech is a site where you can become a better trader. We do have student discounts, third world country and military discounts as well. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions on that. That being said, the last thing we're trying to do is build up our Twitter following, not our followers, all the same essentially. And I want to make sure that you recognize that there's a lot of phenomenal options and benefit here, consistently keeping you up to date on everything going on right now. Okay, so really, really cool stuff there. Very last thing, of course, you want to recognize also is that we have a partnership with Bitget that's running this week here for a 10% cashback bonus, as well as referrers and referees get a bonus as well. So for that BGB, nice stuff there. Be sure to check that out. That is all available there. All you got to do is register with that link, trade with the exchange, and of course, notify me, let me know. You'll get some free access there to our Telegram groups, which we took some healthy profits on recently as well. A nice 40-60% right there from Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's really nice. Be sure to check that out on our homepage. So what we want to look at here with QNT is a couple of things. First of all, the important thing to recognize is we're bouncing off 30 on the RSI, and we also have a MACD convergence on the horizon. Now I say on the horizon because it's starting to dissipate. It's no longer diverging as well as it was before, but it's still something to note. Okay, so that's a positive sign in the overall sense of things for a swing trade, but I'm still concerned with Bitcoin not really bouncing as well as it should right now at the level it's at. We have a lot of resistance in place. So that being said, money flow index is coming down. RSI is still staying under 50. We can assume bearish qualities from QNT in the moving forward in the immediate future. We can also see here that this ABC pattern is printing potential lower lows here at the 0.618 level at about, just say round number $80. So we could very well see an $80 price point. I would definitely recommend dollar cost averaging into that. And don't try to get in right now because it does feel personally just right now with the outside looking in, we're probably going to see further downside for QNT. So just be cautious and careful in that sense. Let's take a quick look at the 4 hours, see if there's anything kind of different and telling. We are still establishing lower lows, lower highs. Not too much here that's very positive. We are up over 50 on the RSI, which is good. Potential bounce there at support. So that might be a nice sign there. We can actually draw some Fibonacci retracements here for the most recent area and kind of see there's a resistance range there at the halfway point at 116. So to me, when I see stuff like this, I don't really like to get in a scenario like this because, first of all, we are diverging on the MACD to an extent. While it's not an official divergence, it's still diverging, right? It's starting to lose that momentum to the upside. So when we start losing momentum and you start, kind of understanding that you're possibly on the right side of the tracks, why jump in right now, right? While it could still increase, it just depends on what Bitcoin wants to do. Bitcoin could have a really good day and it would recover, but for the most part right now we're seeing QNT, even though it did very well, when Bitcoin did okay, it's doing poorly also when Bitcoin just goes sideways. So I don't like that correlation personally. So no matter how much you can kind of attach yourself to a coin or the idea of something being good quality, from a fundamental standpoint, it still doesn't really matter with the technical side of things. So try to make sure your emotion is removed from this scenario because ultimately that'll get you wrecked. I talk a lot about that in my private trading videos, but again, conversation for another day. So let's take a quick look at TD sequential on the hourly. We can see we're coming down to a 9. There is potential bouncing point here based on that sentiment, but keep in mind, we've previously hit 9s before and continued higher. So what's to keep it from going lower if Bitcoin sells off? It does look like Bitcoin is stabilizing a little bit in the last hour, so truth be told, we might see a recovery here, but just keep in mind this little area there kind of implies we might see a bounce. We are also above the cloud soundly, and we have been for some time, so it's nice to know that we're above that support. So if the price can go sideways and up from here, we're good. However, the price travels into the cloud there, kind of gets to that 111 mark or lower, then we could have a different conversation altogether. That being said, lagging span is not free and clear of the price action. It's soon to intersect, so that's a sign there, an early sign, telling us that we're losing that momentum, conversion line's about to cross over the baseline, and that there is definitely potential for the price action to decrease from here. That being said, it's not saying that the price is going to go down. It's just saying that if you have profits on the way up, you might want to consider taking those. This is a good conservative indicator, kind of help you get the most out of your investment, depending on the time frame you're using it on. To me, the hourly makes the most sense, but again, I have an instructional video on this as well, also my Trade Academy, but more importantly, also available on my YouTube too. So check that out, search for that if you can. Hopefully you can learn more about that. But the long story short here with QNT is that we probably have more sell signals than we do buy signals. Let's quickly take a look at our long entries or our shorts here. And we can see that our CC Golden indicator gave us a firm indication that we want to sell our position. Okay. We also see with long entries here as well that we had confirmation here. So to my community members who benefited from this, they got in here and got out there, nice little 2% increase. Okay, now it may not seem like a lot, but those little things do add up. So it's important to make sure that you consistently take profits when you can, because a 2% gain at 20x could be 40%. Okay, again, those are nice little moves that you want to try to catch, but for the most part right now, we can see that we're overextended to the upside and that further downside would make sense. Okay, so QNT to me looks like it has more potential for decrease than increase. I also do not like this gravestone doji candle that's kind of forming right now. Honestly, if we close at 111 or lower, it's absolutely bearish and the price should go down from there. We have to close above the cloud, honestly, at that 112 mark or higher to have any leg to stand on. All right, so just make sure you pay attention to Bitcoin. I just ask you do that. Maybe watch my Bitcoin video daily, because I cover a lot of back-end data, level 2 data, high block capital data, things that are really important to recognize that you don't even see on the charts. And that factors into coins like this, more specifically when Bitcoin dominance is drawing dead, Bitcoin price is coming down and alts are bleeding. It's a really unique phenomenon the way that those things happen, but we're in that reverse cycle right now where a lot of profits are being taken because money's coming out of the market. Okay. All right. Hopefully that makes sense for you. Thanks again for joining me. Again, if you could, please help us grow our Twitter community. And of course, if you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site. Looking forward to work with you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. See you next one.